Alright. Hey everybody. Mind Circus with you. So let me explain what we're doing here. One of the pieces of feedback that I've personally had since I started is there are very few resources out there for the absolute beginner. And what we're talking about is that person who is looking to make their absolute first avatar. It can be a daunting process, including software to use and the whole thing. So what we're going to be doing here over this little series of videos, and I'm just going to try and break it up into little chunks so you can kind of follow along, and you don't have to sit there with the expectation you're going to be there for like an hour and a half to make your first of these. You'll be able to do it in little steps. Is we're going to actually go through this whole thing from beginning to end, where to get the software, what to do. I'm going to provide you with a couple of galleries of what I believe are easy to use pictures to make this happen, and we're going to build our first avatar. So let's go ahead and get this process underway. Step one is we're going to get some software. Now, the software that we're going to be using for this series of tutorials is actually called Paint.net. Now, Paint.net is a free piece of software, and you can really think of it as basically a step up from using the included Paint program in Windows. Just so you know, this is a Windows centric tutorial here. Mac users, there's no comparable version of Paint.net for Macintosh. At some point, maybe we will look at addressing the need for maybe an entry-level tutorial for Macs. But at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to get a program called Paint.net. So let's go ahead and open our web browser window, and in order to get Paint.net, we will go into our web browser's address bar and we will write getpaint.net. See what I did there? Huh. Alright, and this pulls up the Paint.net official website, and from here what we're going to do is we're just going to click this Get It Now, free download, Paint.net, right here in the corner. And we are going to click on that, and we've got a Download Now button right here. And really, this is all we've got to do. So from here, we've got a link along the side. Let's click on this link here that says free download now, Paint.net. And depending on what web browser you're using and the speed of your internet connection, you will get the installer. So this next part is going to be dependent on your operating system and whatever you use to unzip files. So I'm going to assume that you know where to find the file that you just downloaded and unzip it, and then find the install.exe in here. Once you've found the install.exe, let's just go and double click that, and there we go. So we are now at the installer window, and the installer window is just asking us whether we'd like to choose a quick format or a custom format. We're just going to choose the quick format option, and not worry about the custom unless you're a very advanced user. Next thing is we'll have our agreement, and we will agree to our software terms and conditions. And now it's waiting to install. While this is going ahead to install here, let's talk a couple of things about what Paint.net does here. Basically, it's just like the included MS Paint in Windows, only it supports a couple of key features. One, it supports Photoshop brushes. Now, it's going to be outside of the scope of this beginner's tutorial. But what it does also support is filters and layers, and you'll understand layers pretty early on in the game here. Layers would be the number one thing for us to need in order to keep a decent look on our avatars. So Paint.net is successfully installed. We have the option here to hit this PayPal donate. The way I usually go with programs like this, these free programs that ask us to donate, I use them, and if I use them for a couple of months, I may shunt $10, $15 at the developer. It's always good to keep people who are making projects like this kind of in the game. But what it is asking us here for is whether or not we'd like to start Paint.net immediately. We will click on yes and hit our finish button. And here's paint.net. Now, the only thing I'm going to recommend as our first step, we've got a little window here in the upper right that says History. This is a window that's good for more advanced users. What I'm going to ask you to do here at this juncture is close the History window. Now, as far as the other things that we're looking at on the screen here, our top icon in the very top right here is going to make our list of open documents. If we've got more than one project open at a time, they will show us little thumbnails up in the upper right. We've got our Tools window here in the upper left, as well as our, obviously, File, Image, etc. menus up at the top. Now, down here in the lower left, we've got our colors, and we will explain exactly what primary and secondary colors are here in a little while. And then over in the lower right, if we were going counterclockwise, what we have here is the layers palette, and all this will come together in a little while. The first thing that we're going to do, now that we've got paint.net up and running, is we're going to go to our File menu, we're going to create a new file, and we're going to take a look at what it takes to build this new file here. Now, first off, let's keep a couple of things in mind. We've got an option here for Maintain Aspect Ratio. I'm going to ask that you unclick Maintain Aspect Ratio. I'm going to ask that we not worry about our print size. Our print size, obviously, we're not making anything for print. So really what we're worried about is the next three things here when we're making a new file. And this really gets down to how big is your avatar going to be. So, for our first one, we are going to set this for 600 width and 400 height. And then it asks us about our resolution here. Now, resolution is really a measure of how fine your image is. Anything over 100 is pretty much useless. There's some debate of numbers anywhere between 70 and 110 for digital. Paint.net gives us a default number of 96. That's absolutely fine. And just don't go ahead in here if you're wondering what the resolution is and pump this any higher than 100 or 110. There's just no reason to do so. So we'll leave this at 96, where it's asking us to be if we start a new file in the future and we've mistakenly put something in here. Just remember 96 or 100 is just fine here under the resolution field. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And there's our first file, and it's ready to go. So all we're going to do here at this point is we're going to just stop, and we will take our next step here in a few moments.